Welcome to the Digital Roots Podcast. My name's Tony, and I will be the host tonight. With me tonight, I have the pleasure of speaking with Dejavvu and Speedy, or Marty, who's been on the show before. Guys, how's it going?
What's up, man?
Going good, can't complain.
Love to hear that. So how's your day so far?
Well, I'm glad to be off work. It's we're currently doing some exercises, preparing for us if we ever need to go into the fight. It's all the way until the end of the month, so can't wait for that to be done.
And Dejavvu, you're in the Army, correct?
Yes, I am in the Army.
Active duty?
Active duty Army, 16 years now. Joined straight out of high school.
God bless you.
Holy smokes, 16 years.
God fucking bless you.
I know. I'm at 16 years right now, so almost done.
Fuck me.
It's 20 years for pension?
Yeah, but I might go 24 just because I'm a single parent of two, so I want to make sure they have all the benefits they need. So if I make it to 24, I should be good.
Nah, what he's saying, he's an overachiever. he's an overachiever, bro. Don't let him fool you. All right.
Don't let him fool you. So today we're gonna get into it here. Today we're gonna be for episode 4 here. We're going to be digging up the roots of military members and video games. There's obviously a close assimilation with the two. If people, I don't know if they haven't realized it or maybe they have realized it, but we're going to kind of dig into that a little more. So the first question I wanted to start, this is very important now. Maybe a little biased of a question, but which branch is better, Army or the Marines?
You already know I'm gonna say Army.
And you already know I'm gonna say Marines. But here's the thing though, right? At the end of the day, both of us are gonna say our branch is better. Regardless if it is or if it isn't, we're always gonna say our branch is better. And we'll shit talk the Army, we'll shit talk the Navy, we'll shit talk the Air Force, all the other branches. But at the end of the day is we all have respect for each other and what they do in their job or what branch it is. And if an Army guy, a Navy guy, a Marine guy, and Air Force guy all walk into a bar and some civilian comes up and says, hey, the Army's ass, you know that civilian's going to get his ass beat by all of that branches. That's just hands down how it is.
It's a love and hate, we love each other, we work together, but obviously we have the NFL. Now even gaming itself has Army esports, Marine esports, Air Force esports, and it's always been a thing of us competing against each other, but obviously we work together as one.
I always thought the most intriguing matchup for me was the Army-Navy game for football. I always, for some reason, still find that intriguing, actually.
It's one of the top things I don't know what it is with Navy and Army in the football, but they love it. And we've lost a lot to the Navy. I'll give them that. They're good at playing with footballs.
What?
Hey, man, you just leave that out of it, all right? Don't ask, don't tell is not a thing anymore, okay?
Whoa. We're not going to go political over here yet.
Very well. My bad.
my bad. Retract. Edit that out.
Retract my statement.
1 second. Oh my fucking god, dude. 1 second. I'm gonna go with this question. What is the closest thing to video games you've experienced while in the military? You guys can talk amongst yourselves while I put my dog in the kennel.
Okay. So, back in 2012, I was deployed to Afghanistan for my second time around. I was part of a 9-line medevac. Basically, it's a medical company. I'm aviation. We send out aircraft out to pick up patients and stuff like that. I actually had I'm a 15 Papa. So my MOS is a 15 Papa aviation operations specialist. I basically track helicopters that go out and either they're moving packs, they're moving equipment, or they're picking up patients, whichever they get picked to do. But I was a part of a medevac company. They had a mission out. It was a 9-line medevac for Cat Alpha for 4 U.S. patients. And basically that's like urgent, like you need to come right now and get these people. So they ended up stepping on an IED. And the soldiers down in the field cleared the ground for landing. When they went to go land, they came on fire. so they weren't able to land there. They had to land in a different spot. So now the new spot that they went to go land to was not cleared. So when the team was bringing over the 4 patients, they ended up stepping on another IED.
Goddamn.
And it became a total of 8 patients.
Oh.
And I know the crew chief and the medic that were on board, like, they just ran out, didn't care, started picking up everybody and putting them all into that aircraft, and then took off. And they like called me on the radio, like, hey, we can't make it to the main point we got to go to. We're gonna stop where you're at first. We need all hands on deck to come out and help treat these patients. Now, a lot of us are CLS qualified, basically combat lifesavers, what CLS stands for. And you gotta be ready to go. So I was like, oh shit, like this is about to go down. So they come in and they tell us we're landing. We come out of the aircraft, run out. They land. We come out of the talk area. Now it's called a CP, and then we end up running out over there. They open the doors, and it's like almost like I was in a movie. So basically, I was seeing the blood come out, and then we started pulling patients out. Then everyone had to get treated individually. We called the other units that had aircraft as well. They came out, got separated individually, and then they ended up getting sent out and stuff like that.
I have respect, bro. 100.
So
I think
Jeez.
you know what's crazy about that though is like at that point in time, man, no one just gave a fuck. You know what I mean? Like everyone was just helping fucking everybody. And it's a very unfortunate situation that like they landed and they got fucking, you know, they stepped on some shit and everything like that. Very unfortunate, but you know, it just shows no matter what is happening, everyone will come together and fucking work together. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I think for me would be like one of the missions like with the AC-130 up in the air, and they're just like bombing down dudes as you're like so you have like the AC-130 in the air, and you're in the gunner seat, and you're watching like teams roll into like compounds and stuff like that. That would be like the coolest. Like that was the thing that would remind me of a video game, except it wasn't an AC-130. It was a Huey and a Cobra. Yeah. So we ended up taking it. We were pushing farthest west at the time that anyone in our battalion has done, and we were pushing farthest west, and our objective was to take over this bell tower. And as we took over the bell tower, we ended up got in the bell tower. Everything was fine. Started pushing up down like into this wadi, and then around the wadi, there was like this huge circle, like a roundabout. So you like this dirt road, you drive around, and you can like exit back towards that bell tower. And on the right hand side, you have like 3 little store buildings. And of course, at this time, it's like 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and we push up, and next thing you know, a shotgun goes off. Like, what the fuck? Come to find out, my squad leader's shotgun ended up getting caught like on a piece of his gear, ended up going off. In return, that woke up the motherfuckers that we were gonna go to the house with. So we start pushing up, and next thing you know, we get pinned down, and we start, obviously start shooting. We had a whole bunch of guys on top of the roof, killed those dudes. We move in, and obviously there's more to the story. But as we're there, we always had some kind of helo support, whether it was a Cobra, whether it was a 46 or a 53 or 2 Cobras or whatever it was. But it was the sickest thing I've ever seen. This Huey comes flying over across us, and they're just shooting. They're just blasting this place where we're getting fucking smoked from. And as you're looking up, you're now getting burnt by like the brass that's falling on you because it's so fucking hot. But he ended up like coming across us, he strafed, and then he made the sickest bank as he was going up. And I just remember looking up with my MVGs and just watching his door gunner just bang on these dudes. Pop, 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 pop. Down below. The Huey bounced out, and the Cobra came in, shot a couple hellfires, and there we go, baby. So that reminds me of like the AC-130 mission, except for just Cobras and like helos.
Did you guys use night vision and starlight?
Say again?
Did you guys use starlight or night vision?
Yeah, we had MVGs, yeah. And then like PEC 15s or PEC 2s.
So I've seen some videos. When they did the campaign, there was a couple. God, I don't remember what that like channel was that on. I feel like I saw that on Facebook, and there was like two veterans who watched the campaign,
Yeah.
and it was the, I'm sure we've I think you and I talked about this, Marty. It was going into the wolf lair in Modern Warfare. So it's all night
in the building,
vision,
right? In the building.
Yep.
The clearing house.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, exactly. And they were talking about how for the most part, it's pretty realistic in the sense that tactically, how they were clearing rooms, especially with night vision. And you said MEGs?
Yeah. NVGs, night vision goggles.
Yeah, so with those, and then you had with the lasers you can only see with,
Yeah. So
with the
so those are the
night vision.
PECs, the PEC 2s or PEC 15s, or whatever the special forces use. They got some kind of crazy ass lasers and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's only able. So those lasers are only able to be seen by NVGs or infrared lights.
Correct. Right. So that particular mission, they felt as though it was pretty realistic. I mean, there's obviously some nuances, but for the most part, how they're clearing the possibility of a civilian becoming non-civilian when they picked up the AK. So like just the clearing of the compound was pretty spot on from what they were saying. But then obviously everybody, when people think about realism and maybe the grotesque side of maybe like military / civilian in video games, you're thinking about that Modern Warfare 3? No. Whatever Modern Warfare that is, when they they killed a bunch of people in the airport.
Okay.
I don't remember which game that
Yeah,
is. But I mean, I think that kind of started like the whole trend of like, okay, like, is that too much? Is that too dark? But it's like, okay, in a sense, actually not in a sense, in its whole entirety, warfare is dark and it's evil. There's a lot of shit that goes on that people don't see, and there's a lot of things that happen that people can't even fathom. There's a reason why people, when they come back from deployment, I can't say this for myself, but from what I've read and heard and talked to people change, man. People change when they come back. There's a reason why they change. The shit they see, the stuff they had to do. There's a reason why normal civilians can't take that shit. And why it changes people. So like, at what point is realism in video games too real? So, I mean, is there a point where because like I feel like video games in the past, I don't know, 10 years, people have always, no matter if it's sports games, military games, no matter what, people want more real. They just want more realism, no matter what it is. And no matter what, even though it's a video game, people still want more realism. Movement, ballistics, just the sounds, you name it. But it's like, okay, but then it's like there's still that thing in the back of your mind, like that's still warfare. You're still killing people. You're still, I don't know. You know what I mean? Though it's just like where does that line draw when there's like realism in video games, especially with warfare?
I think it's going to continue to get even more real now with like the Oculus, and you can actually maneuver, hold a weapon, shoot a weapon. It's just going to get more realistic. A lot of guys that deal with PTSD do play video games because it kind of reminds them of, in a sense, where they were at or what they dealt with, and sometimes you're left with that urge. Some people don't like it. Some people remind them of bad times and they completely avoid it. Other people use video games to get out of a sense of like what's going on around them. It's actually calm to them to play those type of games and be competitive and make it seem as if it's almost realistic, like they were in combat. I know we have a lot of individuals that have never been in the military and just love to play video games, and it's one of those things that's like, all right, well, you love playing the video game and you're good at it, why don't you come do it for real life? And they won't want to because they're okay with just doing the fake thing and not the actual thing of what it takes to be a military service member or whatever your specific MOS is. So it varies from person to person whether they can handle the realistic.
It's funny you say that. Obviously, all three of us have fired firearms, different aspects, but I don't know if it's just me, but what pisses me off is how smug like pro Call of Duty players are. Like, oh look, I make 50, 60 grand a year, which really isn't that much. And then you have obviously the higher two people that have their endorsements and extra bullshit, whatever. But these guys, like, you see them on their social media, marketing and stuff. They're like this, they're like, all acting tough and shit because they play a video game for a living. But it's like, one, you don't even. Well, I would say maybe, I don't know, 98% of those players are not even old enough to even shoot a firearm. But like, they're not as hard as they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, dude, that's just me though. That's got to be me. Like, that's my opinion, and it just pisses me off. Oh, I'm so tough. It's like, no, you're not, dude. You haven't even shot off your firearm. You play a video game. I don't know. That's just me though.
So just get back to your
Oh yeah,
what you
yeah.
were saying before. So just say that specific mission, right? That lone wolf mission where you're clearing that building, right? And that woman picks up that baby, right? And you're thinking, okay, now am I going to have to shoot this baby? Am I going to shoot this woman that's having this baby in her arms? I mean, I'm not going to lie. There are people over there who will hide behind their children, in times, so they don't get fired at or whatever the case may be, even though they're doing the wrong thing. They do hide behind kids and everything like that, and it is what it is. But when it comes to realism, you can't be too real in these games, because if you do, it's not going to be fun. Drop shotting, that nowhere in the history of the world are you going to see someone fucking shooting an M4, drop shot, keep all shots on target, with 110, 150 pounds of shit on his chest, then get up, then slide cancel around the fucking corner, then drop shot again. Like, it's just not going to be fun. Everything's just going to be...
I mean, I don't know.
Go ahead.
I don't know about Marines, but I'm pretty sure our Army guys are strong enough to do that. They're saying, is that right?
Oh.
We slide canceling all the time,
bro. I mean, might be something we need to talk about. You know what I mean? I need to get with the Army and talk to him, let him know what's up. You know, something. But I mean, when it comes to like realistic graphics and everything like that, I think Modern Warfare has done some really good things when it comes to graphics, when it comes to showing realism. But today's society is not built for that. Today's society is not built to see how real it is over there, because they've been sheltered.
Are you sure though? Are you sure with how soft the United States is? Are you sure they're not ready to see that?
Fuck it, show them. I don't give a shit. I don't care.
Yeah, I think it depends. Like, so in the Army aspect of things, when I first joined, to compare to the soldiers that I'm receiving now, they're being a lot more lenient in the discipline.
I have to agree.
And actually being hardcore on them. I feel as if they're being sheltered. They have the ability to hold drill sergeant. You're bothering me. Here's a pause card. This means you can't mess with me right now. Where I'm getting yelled at, do push-ups, get down, you're a piece of shit, get the fuck back up, get down, and all this other stuff. And now it's like we get in trouble if we try to discipline these soldiers. And all we're trying to do is make them the best versions of themselves. And in order to do that, we got to be good leaders to do that. And we lack that. We lack good leaders in the military right now.
Agreed.
They're individuals that just care about themselves, and that's it. To me, it's all about the soldiers. They're a reflection of me as a leader. If I take care of them, if I motivate them, if I give them a purpose on what to do, and I train them to be combat ready, because that's another thing. Because that normal PT, I'm going to run, and that's it. No, we're going to wear IOTV, and we're going to run.
Because at the end of the day, no matter, regardless of your MOS, you have a chance of receiving contact. You have a chance of receiving and being in combat. At the end of the day, like, that's just the end all be all for whatever branch you're in. At the end of the day, you have that. So if you're not ready for it, and that's going to be on your leaders who is doing that. And as Dejavvu just stated, he's always got his guys fucking ready to go. You know what I mean? So, and if you have those people who are just, it's crazy, man. Because when I joined in 2005, to when I got out in 2013, I could see how much the Marine Corps was changing. As I was exiting, how lenient we were, how we were getting into more of like a uniform kind of a thing, not so much more of a being combat ready, I guess you would say. I mean, we would, obviously be okay with combat and shit like that, but it wasn't geared towards combat. It was going more towards uniforms and shit, which I hate that. I hate that shit.
You want to hear a story? So my dad, he went in. I think it was 18 when it was 18ish on the back end of his 18th birthday in 82. Okay, so he told me that the people that were training him were Army Rangers from Vietnam. Okay, so that was the people that was training him. So
That's actually kind of badass, though, if you think about it. You know what I mean?
And the funny thing is, they told the stories that they told him. So like, I'll start with the story that they told my dad. So the drill sergeant that my dad had at the time, he was a smaller guy, so he was what they called a tunnel rat, which I'm assuming you guys know what that is from Vietnam. For the people listening, what a tunnel rat was in Vietnam was usually a short person, very small in stature, who in Vietnam they had an immense amount of tunnel systems that was very, very hard to find. When you found them, these systems were so elaborate that it was just like miles and miles of tunnels. So anyways, if they found a tunnel, they would send a tunnel rat with a 45 and a flashlight into these tunnels. So basically, the purpose is to recon and see what's in there, because people, they hide in there, obviously. So this guy that was training my dad said that he had a guy go in there, didn't come out, right? And at a certain amount of time, if they don't come out, you put you blow the hole. So you checked it off pretty much. So he said, "Fuck that! I'm going after him." So he went in there. He was like in this one hut, and then he popped up, and there was like a bunch of them just standing there. And he was like, "Oh, wrong hole." And I guess he found the guy, and the guy who initially went in there was shot. He pulled him out, and then while in the process, he was also shot. So he got a Purple Heart out of that. So like the people that my dad was trained by were like the fucking people. Like those are the people that it's like you don't mess around with. And then another funny story of like how soft today's military is, and I can't say that, but from your perspective, how soft it is. Okay. So I'm trying to. If I misspeak on something, on like a terminology or something, correct me, of course. So like in the morning, you PT, all that shit, you clean up, like you shave. Well, their drill sergeant told us one specific guy to shave. Okay, he did. But he was like Italian or Greek or something, so his 5 o'clock shadow came in really fast. So he's like, "I thought I fucking told you to shave." And he's like, "I did, I swear." He made him shave his face with a fucking rock until his face was bleeding.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's extra right there. That's definitely.
Yeah.
That's
And
definitely a little much.
I think my dad got in just after they couldn't touch you. I don't think they could touch you anymore at that point. They couldn't like put the hands on you.
I mean, we did have people who would grow like the 5 o'clock shadow and stuff like that, but I mean, they just had to shave 2 times a day. You know what I mean? But you'd obviously get to know who you were working with, and like their kind of like their habits and what was going on in their life. So you would obviously see, okay, they shaved in the morning, because as an NCO or a leader, what you would have to do is you'd have to go through and just make sure everyone's shaved, like the rooms are fucking clean, the uniforms look fine, their camis are straight, and then, as you go through the day, you see the same person, and if obviously they got that 5 o'clock shadow going on, you already expected him in the morning, so you knew, okay, he did shave. We just got to get a second shave in, because if not, he's going to get fucked up.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I don't know how like your entry into boot camp was, but my dad said like the depiction in Forrest Gump when he goes to boot camp, like he just gets off. No, was that he just gets on the bus? He goes, like he just gets on the bus and he goes, "Hi, my name's Forrest Gump." He goes, "I don't give a flying fuck who you are," like in his face, like. Just how much yelling there was, and how much like aggressiveness the drill sergeants were towards, like, say, Forrest Gump. My dad said they were just like that, and it was almost like picture perfect of how he was treated in the 80s from boot camp.
I mean, I can't speak on the Army. I can speak on my time when it came to like the boot camp and how it went down for me.
I went in 05, and it was about the same thing. Maybe a little bit more lenient when it came to hands-on individuals, unless they got into fights, but we still got yelled at. We still got the shit smoked out of us. Their whole process there was to take away what you knew and break you and then remake you into a soldier. And that's the one thing they touch base on there is your discipline. Are you disciplined enough to be in the army? Will you stay awake after we smoke the shit out of you and then sit you down and have you go through a class in the AC room after you've been sweating? And if you can stay awake and get through it, you're good to go. And it was just the whole physical fitness aspect, being a soldier, being an infantryman, because in the end, at least for us, you're an infantryman first, and then whatever your second job is whatever MOS you decided to be. Or a rifleman.
Yeah, for me it was they put you on a fucking bus. They drove you around. So you get off the plane in like South Carolina, shit like that. They put you in a bus. They drive you around. They drive you to Paris Island, then they drive you around for like 2 hours or some shit with your head between your knees, just to get you fucking confused. Think you're driving a fucking crazy ass car. Come to find out, where I was when I was in boot camp and where I was living was 5 minutes from the gate to get the fuck out of Paris Island. I thought I was fucking 6 hours away. but again, yeah, it was definitely they weren't near as hands-on as I'm assuming from back in the day. If you did fuck up, they would grab you up and smoke you, but definitely wouldn't like beat the shit out of you or anything like that. They'd yank you up real fucking quick though. I remember this one time, dude, I fucked up, and dude, oh my god, it was my like last day. It was like our final inspection. And what drill instructors would do is they would come through and they would just kick the fuck out of your wall locker and your lockers. Like your little locks that you have, like locking everything up.
Yeah.
And I remember locking my shit up. I'm in my fucking Charlie's, I think I was in. And the CO is walking through. And next thing you know, the CO stops. And he's stopping right in front of like where my area is, where I like was sleeping, like where I slept, where I lived, everything like that. And I'm like, please don't be me. Please don't be me. Please don't be me. But I know for sure, 100%, I locked my fucking lock. Anyways, come to find out. Yep, it's my fucking wall locker, or my foot locker. Unlocked. Next thing you know, foot locker gets fucking flipped. And this is a day before my family comes down. Right? The day before they come see me graduate, everything like this. My foot locker gets fucking flipped. Yeah, the next day I couldn't run to my parents or my family, and they couldn't hug me very well. I was broken off pretty good.
Like physically?
Oh, dude, I couldn't walk right. It's not because they beat the shit out of me. It's because they just PT'd the fuck out of me and put me on a quarter deck. They fucked me up. I guarantee you I seen the whole side of fucking Paris Island.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, so like, if we were to branch off as far as questions go, so like, why do you think so many military members indulge in video games? And maybe if you were to specify a genre of video games, do you feel as though like most military members indulge in just like military styled video games, or just like what would your thoughts be?
I would say it's more military style games. I guess we can relate to it more. There are things in Call of Duty that maybe some of us, it's not our job to do, but in the game we're able to do it, so it draws our attention. So we're attracted to it and we want to play it, and it's like, man, I wish I could do this. Like the slide cancel and the jump and all that other stuff, or be a great sniper, but I'm not a good shooter, but I am on the game.
I mean, I don't think you're that good, bro. All right, so just relax. 17 kills, bro, is not... I mean, I had 2, all right? So, you know what I mean? Relax over there, would you?
That's trash, dude.
Fuck you, Prem. I do think when you get out of the military, or while you're in the military, or for whatever reason, regardless of your MOS, I think it does come down to being more of the Call of Duty style Battlefield, any kind of like first-person shooter, regardless of your MOS, because that's something that you'd like to do. And sometimes whenever you join the military, it could be you join the military for this one specific reason. I wanted to get college, right? But then you started to see what the military is, or whatever branch, and then you're like, oh, well, shit, I want to go fucking infantry. And then sometimes you're already locked into a contract, and you can't get out of that contract until your next 4 years. So if you're locked in that contract, whatever it is, it gives you the ability to be able to do those shooter things that you'd love to done in the contract that you're coming up on, and shoot some people. Also, too, it's one of those things as you live through your job as an O3 for me, right? Our job was to go over, kick doors in, search people, look for IEDs, shoot at bad guys if they were shooting at us. Like, that's something that you will never... It's the hardest thing for me right now is what job can I do that will give me the adrenaline rush and the satisfaction of doing what I did when I was in the Marine Corps.
Personal security guard.
Okay, well, dude, all right, you had that shit on fucking standby, bro. Damn. he already knew that shit was happening. He was like, "I got you, bro. Don't worry about it. I'll lock you down."
So realistically, it's just it's relatability.
Yeah,
That's
relatability,
why.
Yeah.
Okay. Because for me, I'm obviously civilian, but I've always enjoyed sniping on video games, and I don't know if that's because, like, in real life, I put with a 308 round, I put from about 100 yards, I put a bullet in literally the same hole in the paper, twice. So like, I for some reason enjoy a rifle and the abilities I have. So like in video games, kind of the same scenario.
Hey, Dejavvu.
Yep.
You need that proof, right? We need that proof.
Oh, the proof.
Yeah, we need
I
that.
wish I had that paper.
Oh, yeah.
Photo hanging up in the back.
Yeah.
Dude,
You hear that,
I was only
Dejavvu?
like,
Oh, man. If I just would have took a picture. Oh.
dude, I was only like 12 or 13 years old when that happened.
Shit, dude. No, it's always a good thing, man. It really is. Call of Duty's done a really good job with some of their missions that are very realistic, that is very relatable to a lot of people's MOSs and jobs they've done over there. So
I still don't think you should have a 50 cal round in a military game, just saying. Unless it's hardcore only. Because otherwise, like, why are you getting hit markers?
yeah, I mean that's true too. Yeah. Dude, we had to.
Oh, hit marker.
We gotta. I'll tell you, man. We had a dude get hit with a 50 cal sniper when we were in Iraq, and the dude ended up surviving, thank God. But he got hit in his right shoulder, and basically blew off his fucking arm.
Sounds about right.
It was fucking. It was insane. He showed up. He had a fucking had the big ass hole in his fucking arm, and luckily enough, there was a doc there that was able to fucking patch everything up before he was able to bleed out and shit. But we thought he was dead.
Damn.
We thought he was dead. He wasn't part of my platoon or anything like that, or my company. But I knew him because I went to SOI with him. And then when we got back to the States and we did, our farewells to our boys we lost, he ended up showing up, and he was on a fucking like little breathing thing, like carry tube, and you know what I'm talking about? That little thing. You got like the little oxygen tank behind you, and he's got the thing in his nose and shit. Yeah, he was all fucked up. But yeah, luckily enough, they were able to, I guess, somehow put his shit back together from like taking some skin off his ass and his legs.
Did he keep his arm?
Yeah, he was able to keep his arm, but it wasn't very, like he wasn't able to do a lot at the time. I don't know what he's doing right now with it, or if it's gotten better to where he's actually able to use it or not. But at the time, yeah, he couldn't move it at all, but it was still there.
So it's going back to like the softness of this generation. I saw a study that in Newsweek that the so-called gaming I'm going to read this quote unquote, that the so-called gaming sedentary lifestyle can cause injuries while in military intense physical movements. Injuries, acute fractures, falls, to ACL tears and muscle strains, and plus stress fractures. So with the softness, there's the U.S. military seeing a lot of, or we'll say an increase of like these injuries due to sedentary lifestyle. So I don't know if you guys seen that as well, but I guess that's a thing. Like that's like the negative connotation to the gaming side with military that I've seen. But
I can see that in the sense that, you know, we're not roughing up our soldiers. We're not making them do complicated things. And then when it is required to do that complicated thing, hey, out of nowhere, we got a 12-mile ruck march we got to do. We didn't train for it, but they expect us to do it. And then they go do it and they get hurt because their body hasn't been training for it. And a lot of things that I do over here, I train as I fight. Even though I'm in an MOS that may not see combat, you never know what could happen. You never know if an aircraft will crash, because we do fly in aircrafts all the time. The helicopter could go down, and now you got to ruck 12 miles to a destination because that's your safe haven. And if you've been practicing, you know what you need to do. And that's something we got to incorporate to the soldiers. And there's a lot that will complain, oh, why do we got to do that? Why do I got to run with my uniform on? Why can't we do it in PTs? Because when you go to war and you're in combat, you'll be in uniform. You'll run in uniform. And it's easier for you to get ready now than wait until it's the actual live action that's going on.
Amen. That's facts.
But I think it does tie in though. I mean, there is going to be a level of severity of injuries from going the transition from going to civilian to training to be non-civilian. Like I feel like there's going to be natural injuries, right? Because the stress that you're doing, the stress. What?
I'm gonna have to go with that. I disagree with that.
So you think, typically speaking, everyone's not getting injuries. I get that, but I mean, like, so you're saying you're not going to see any injuries from people that are going from civilian to non-civilian while training?
No, because those people who actually want to be in that training and wants to be there, they've already prepared for it. The problem is now is we're not really in a conflict. So when we're not in a conflict and there's not really a war that we're fighting, you're just getting a whole bunch of fucking like Fruit Loops that they're joining just to get the title. Whether it's the army, fuck, dude, shit. they're just joining just to join to get the title. Whether it's the army, the navy, the air force, Marine Corps, whatever the case it is, they're just getting
Space Force.
Yeah, Oh fuck yeah, I forgot about the Space Force. They're just joining to get that title. They actually don't want to be there. They actually don't want to do any of that. But in all reality, is what else do they have to fucking do? What's an O3 have to do right now in the Marine Corps? We're not fighting anyone, so therefore they're just sitting around. Same thing when it comes to recruiting people. You can't. For me, it was 9/11. Hey, you want to go to fucking war? I want to go get revenge? Yeah, let's go. I knew I was going to fight. But like, what's the recruiters doing now? What's their
At least for the army right now, it is low.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
People not joining, and there's people that don't want to re-enlist.
So there's I'm sorry, Deja, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's fine. Just here where I'm at right now, I'm in JBLM, Washington. The numbers are super low. The way the units are, the way the NCOs are, the way they're being treated, they'd rather be civilians than stay in. And we've been seeing a low deficit of people staying in the military, and they'd rather go be civilians. Same thing when COVID hit. A lot of people disagreed with getting the vaccine, and now they're being removed from the military because they chose not to do that. Even though they give us all types of typhoid, mosquito shots. I got a shot for Japanese mosquito. I didn't know before I went to Indonesia. But I'm good. I'm fine. Like, it's just it's all on that individual person. and what they're trying to get out of being in the military. And at least 70% is for graduating, getting money to graduate, go to college.
Yep.
And so it's paid for.
Yep. So it's just about like what is the cream of the crop? You know what I mean? There's no cream at this point right now.
Yeah.
Because they're other than college, what do they have? They get the title. So the recruiters are just trying to get as much as they can, because when it comes down to it, the recruiters have to recruit a certain amount of individuals per month or year, or I don't know. I've never done recruiting. From what I've been told, you have to have a certain amount of recruits per month, per year, and to meet your quota. If not, then you some kind of negative counseling goes against you or some shit like that.
So my ex-spouse, she was recruiting, and I was assisting her in that recruiting process. It's 3 recruits per month, and then if you don't do that, then you get a counseling saying you're not doing what it is that you need to do. They tie in a lot of social media, and this is why Army Esports, Army CrossFit, Marine Esports, I don't know if Marine has a CrossFit team, but they started reaching out into other organizations on how they can pull more soldiers in.
Yeah.
So that what they'll do is, hey, we're going to host a tournament for Call of Duty at the station. You need to come in and sign up for it. Winner gets a free Xbox. Now you have the civilians coming into the recruiting shop to sign in. Bang, they're in your neck of the woods. Hey, you're signing in. Why don't you sit down? Let's talk about what the Army can offer you. You're going to do this tournament? Cool. You're going to get this free Xbox. But let's get all this info from you. And that's how they're attracting people to come in and stuff like that. They're changing now. TikTok, Instagram, any social media platform. They have a whole recruiting sector that's just online now, using Instagram, TikToks, and stuff to bring people into the military.
Generational ploys.
Which is great, because at the end of the day, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to bring these new bucks in. A lot of these kids nowadays, that's all they know is just internet. They've been on games for however long they've been playing these games, and a lot of their friends they've met have been through video games. So they don't have very much like social interaction, you know what I mean? So when it comes to that like aspect, is now you're having, like you were saying, the Army Esports reaching out when it comes to Instagram, like TikToks and all this shit, and is able to reach that young generation to bring those people in, which is great, because that's exactly where it's headed. You're not going to see a recruiter in a school anymore like when I joined in 05. And I'm sure same thing for you, Dejavvu. It was someone that brought you in, or was at a school, or you something like that, and they were there.
Yeah. I seen him at school, but I already knew I was going to join.
Yes, I mean, same.
I joined for a girl, and yeah, that definitely went south.
Hey, man, you man.
I did not end up with her.
Hey, man, girls be girls, you know?
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's always, like, you're not going to see that recruiter in a school anymore these days. They're just not going to be there, because it's just not worth their time. Because there's nothing going on and for those recruiters to help or to drag those people in at mass numbers. In my opinion, at least.
Mm-hmm. So, on a more positive note, away from recruiting, there's a lot of people that don't like recruiters. My dad was one of them. So, another thing I saw from that USO website was that video games keep service members connected to home and loved ones, and they kind of keep them grounded. So, from what they also said, is it strengthens friendships among fellow service members during deployments and assignments. Because from what they said, with the research they did, that people that were deployed or on assignments felt extremely lonely, like extremely lonely. 50% of service members citing the time spent away from family as the number one issue with being in the military. Half of the service members saying that time spent away from family and friends and all that is their number one issue. So loneliness is a key factor in maybe the mental state of military members. So with the camaraderie and video games and some of the things that the ways you can connect through video games gives that sense of camaraderie and those kind of friendships that you need while gone. So I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I completely agree with that. So when you're deployed, you have the MWR or the USO. They have their gaming setups there, and that was a chance. And this is how I started gaming. I was like, I need a break. It's the same thing every time. Let me go to the USO. Oh, you want to sign out a controller you can play on the Xbox? Cool, let me do that. And then Call of Duty was the game that was in there. Sat down, started playing it, playing the campaign, and it completely erased my memory that I was deployed. I felt like I was in my room chilling, playing the game. Obviously, back then when I went, the internet wasn't that good where you can connect and play with other people online from across the world, where you can add your brother, your sister, cousin, friends from back home to play with and talk to them online. Nowadays, the internet is better when you do get deployed to certain locations where you can do that. And then you can play online with each other, and it's just like, dang, I talk to this person all the time, or if they stream, I see them all the time, and it's like they're away, but I see them all the time, so it's like we're here, and there's that comfort zone and that ability to just be relaxed and just have a good time and forget what's going on around you. So that was very beneficial when I was, well, for all the times I've deployed, because every time I'm deployed, I've always played video games. When I went to Honduras, I took my whole PC setup out there, and I was just relaxed and chilling. And what you mentioned about being at home is that the service member is at home playing his games. He's not out in the streets drinking his thoughts or what he's been through away. He's at home in a room, playing for a bit, but then at the same time still spending time with his family members.
Hmm.
Yeah, for me it was I didn't have like internet back in '05 at like my house. When I did, it was like dial-up, so it wasn't very good at all. So when I left and graduated high school and everything like that, and I went to the Marine Corps, went through boot camp, and got stationed in Lejeune, I was able to get myself decent internet that I could actually play online games with, and I was able to actually pay or have my father and like my stepmom and my mother to get my little brother internet, and we were able to play. If I wasn't in training and I wasn't deployed, I would spend most of my time playing games with him, and that was one of the coolest things because me and my little brother grew so close over the times of playing on the internet and playing those video games, whether it's Call of Duty or something like Madden or something like that. We always got like some kind of drinking game. Playing with him, we grew so close because of that. And when I deployed, we didn't have that time, and I wasn't able to get on like the video game or call him or anything like that. And it came home, and just made it so much more special when we played those video games together.
Hmm. What's
It's kind of like
I mean, I wasn't in the military, but my dad, dude, me, my dad, and my brother. So my parents were divorced when I got into freshman year of high school. That's all we did together. We just played video games. It was us three in the house playing like Call of Duty or SOCOM Confrontation or SOCOM games, all in the same house. So we're all communicating. It's almost like a gamer house. All three of us were just playing together.
That's actually super fucking cool because me and my little brother would play sometimes, like whenever it would just be like, you had like those private matches that you can join and you just play against each other and shit like that. But I'm telling you, my little brother used to cheat, man. He used to look at my screen all the time.
In Afghanistan, it was the LAN matches when Halo 2 and Halo 3 was a big thing.
Oh, no shit, really?
Nice.
We had a router, and we would route all the cables from one room, and they would all
let's
router.
go.
You could put at least 24 people on the game through that LAN.
Dude.
And we would just run it into everyone's little cubicles, and then from our rooms, we would hop on and play Halo custom matches against each other, and that was always...
That's dope as fuck.
So do you guys think that you built friendships though, like some long-lasting friendships via video games?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, 100%.
I have one of my mods that lives in Texas, and I went and saw him for the first time, and he came and drove up to San Antonio because that's where my parents are at. Made a shirt for me and everything, and like welcomed me to his family. Like we've known each other for our whole lives, and we met for the first time ever.
I mean, thinking about Prime, me and you, and same thing with Dejavvu. This is all All through video games.
No, I didn't, dude. I met you through like graphic design,
Yeah.
but kind of.
All right, man. Way to fucking ruin it, bud. All right. Well, fuck you. All right. Well, Dejavvu. I'm glad me and you are best friends. Prime, you can
Yeah.
suck a dick. And, but yeah, so I got a boy that's up in New York. I've never met him, and I can call this guy up, and I'd be like, "Hey, man, I need a place to live," and he'd be like, "I got you." Like, and I've never met him. I met him playing on Rocket League when we were like both like bronze players, silver like level players. And
But just think about. Oh my bad, you're not.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, think about that first initial meeting when you meet someone. Like, say for example, I didn't stream, and you didn't have your camera on right now. We could only hear our voices.
That's
we could
right.
only go off of our voices. We would never know what someone looks like. But imagine that first initial meeting someone that you game with. You're like, wow, that's what you look like. Your voice doesn't match what you sound like or look like and whatever. And it's just amazing.
Yeah.
So whenever they do the Twitch cons and all the Comic Cons and events where you like, oh, I'm gonna go see my streamer, and the streamer doesn't know who their mod is or who the viewers are, and they're coming up to you and they're just like, holy crap, that's what you look like. Never thought you looked like that.
And it's also cool too to think like, regardless of what your past was before, like you meet somebody right on like a video game, like your past could be so like seriously fucked up, but you meet this one person and then like you guys have like this relationship, and next thing you know, you're telling each other like shit that's happened in the past, and next thing you know, you've never met this person, you've never seen this person, his face or anything like that. But you've told him everything that's helping your life. But it's all because of video games.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, eventually, hopefully, you guys meet. It's crazy, man. It's crazy to think.
I've done a couple meetups actually. When I was in Philly, met a guy that I ran a game organization with. So met him. He was from New Jersey area, and then
Didn't you just do a recent one?
and then huh?
Didn't you just do a recent meetup with one of your boys?
So the most recent was two guys that were streamers for Orlando Reapers. I met them. They were actually in Wisconsin. One's actually from Wisconsin. The other one was from Florida. So the one flew from Florida to Wisconsin. They went to a Packer game. So they literally have to drive right through there or through where I live to get to the Packer Stadium. So I was like, hey, we should just meet up. So we met up and whatever. And then a really good friend, like he's a super really good friend of mine. He's from Georgia. So he lives pretty close to Atlanta, and I had a layover in Atlanta. I'm like, dude, we should definitely meet up. So I was flying to, me and my brother were flying to, flying into Tampa. So met him and his wife and his baby. So like that was probably the best that I've meetup I've had so far. But it's different. It's really different when you meet that person physically. Like you feel like you bond and have that camaraderie and you build that friendship digitally. But once you see that person in front of you, it's just different. It's different.
Yeah.
Like not bad, but like it's just like I don't know.
It's kind of like
Yeah,
a
it's
weird,
just-
awkward kind of thing.
So my first meetup was a little awkward. His name's Mike. We walked around. We were walking around Philly for a while. Like it's kind of awkward because like, what do you talk about really? And we got lunch, and it's like meh. But like when I met his name's Noah. When I met him in Georgia and at the Atlanta airport, it was just different because like we have life experience. We've talked about a bunch of stuff. It's just different. Like him and I, like, because we're such good friends, it just clicked differently. So it was a better experience meeting him in person.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like this is just way better, honestly, in person. But yeah. Anywho's, so we've been talking for a good chunk of time. Now I have a baby right. If you haven't noticed, I've been looking down ever so often. Cause I have
Checking on your
I have
child to
sleep-
make sure he doesn't get up.
Yeah, she's due to eat pretty soon, but she's been sleeping this whole time, thankfully. But I guess we'll kind of wrap it up. So in all, I think, and you guys can put your opinion on this too, and like your stamp. But like I think, I feel as though video games has a positive influence in the military members. I don't know, not their experience, but like I feel like it plays a positive role. It can, not everyone, but I think it can play a positive role in a military member's life and their experience, just so that they have the ability to create friendships and create camaraderie with other people. Not I mean, they don't have to be military members, but just in general. Because I mean, if we all three of us know that the mental health is something that's becoming more. I'm not gonna say it's becoming more important, but it's becoming more known about and more. People are trying to be. Yeah, people are trying to be more proactive with mental health, but especially the military members. Especially coming back from deployments and some of the assignments, loneliness and those, who knows what those thoughts are, when what they're thinking in those times. But loneliness is definitely something, and self-worth and all that crap. But I feel like video games is just one avenue of creating some sort of avenue of friendship and stepping away from loneliness and having a moment that you feel worth something to someone else.
When it comes to, like, from my point of view, I think video games is a huge to just get away, to escape whatever is going on in the world. You come home and just say you have some other shit happening with your family, your wife, kids, whatever the case it is. Like, it's an escape. You get in a phone call or Discord or Xbox Live Chat or whatever PS4's chat is. You get into one of those calls and you just chill with your boys and just hang out, and just everything kind of, like, at least for me, everything goes out the window at that point. You're just in the zone. You're just trying to frag out, and sometimes you have a good game and sometimes you get shit on, but at least you're having a good time with your friends, you know what I mean? And you're relieving that pressure, that stress that could be happening day in and day out. When it comes to work, when it comes to family, whatever the case may be. And you get to meet some really cool people sometimes. You get thrown up on a random team, and next thing you know, you're joining lobbies with them, and you're hanging out, and there you go. You know what I mean? So it's overall, I think that video games is a good way to release some of your pressures and stress, and just to get something off your chest and just relax. And then it comes to, whenever you actually were over there, if you were over there or you wanted to be over there or something like that, gives you the opportunity to, okay, I was there, this is what I did. And then you can show your kids and stuff like that, and then people who want to do it, and they could do it. You know what I mean? In a video game, instead of being over there and actually going through that.
I also think it's a good way to keep in communication with people. Like Angry Box, he was my soldier when I was in Honduras, and now he's a sergeant, and he's in Georgia, and I'm up here, and we play together all the time. And it's like we're still together, but just in separate locations. So it keeps us together like one big happy family.
Truth.
Love that. And that's kind of partly the reason why I came up with the United by Stripes. I think that not just mental health, but to create a community. And again, there's things like, there's other communities, obviously the regiment, there's others, especially the regiment, but there's other communities for the military members that enjoy games and video games, no matter what it is, that has a community to make new friendships and make new acquaintances and camaraderie with other people, because I feel like that's important. Like that's definitely, it doesn't matter the video game. It's just like the biggest thing is the human interaction. I think that that's the biggest influence, not just the video game itself, but that's just the avenue to get to human interaction. Because I feel like human beings in general are made to be social. at some obviously that differs with different people, but at some level, human beings are made to be social with other human beings. That's just how we're wired. So again, that's just one avenue, but yeah. But anyways, do you guys have any closing remarks?
Yeah, I saw what you were wearing. Before we go, I gotta do something.
Aw, shit. You fucked up, yo.
I fucked up.
Yeah.
Let me guess. Watch it be a Seattle Seahawks thing.
Hey, you wearing a Green Bay thing, bro?
I apologize for what happened to you this weekend.
Oh shit.
But I'm
Oh,
a Vikings
dude.
fan.
Damn.
Are you actually?
Oh.
Dude, Justin Jefferson's nasty. We'll just put that.
He is. I was like,
Damn, he with the
we
jacket.
always-
He with
we
the jacket
always
on you,
lose.
bro.
We always lose, and I'm like, we got this. We got a new coach. We got the team together. I'm mad that we lost Diggs, but we got Jefferson now. We got Cook in the back. We can do this, and we won.
Hey, he's got that jacket, bro. He just,
Here's the thing.
Yeah, I got the nice
I'm-
jacket.
hey, bro. He just put his dick on the table and smacked you with it, yo.
But here's the thing, though. How many Super Bowls have they been to
No,
and
we've
won?
been to 4, and we lost all 4. That's what I'm saying. I get that part, but hopefully.
But here's the
Yes.
thing. I'm
Typical,
but here's the thing.
typical
Here.
person. How many Super Bowls you got?
Boom. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Listen to this. I'm a huge Packer fan. Okay. But I'm also not the person that be like, oh yeah, I'm a Packer fan, but fuck the Vikings, fuck the Bears. Like, I'm a Bears fan somewhat. Like, I was a Brian Urlacher fan. Like, Harris, all the people, not Pat Tillman, not him in general, but Peanut Tillman. Like, there's a lot of people I liked on the Bears. I have a Brian Urlacher jersey. So like the Vikings. Yeah, see? Like, I just love football. And I mean, obviously they're a division rival, and I'd want the Packers to win, but I like Kirk Cousins as a person. Not a huge fan as a quarterback, but I love him as a person. He's a good dude. Justin Jefferson is debatably top 3 receivers in the NFL. Adam Thielen is a quiet. I mean, he was more pronounced a couple years ago, but I was just like, dude, they have the Vikings are going to be a good team this year. That's just undoubtedly. There's just not you can't refute that. So
Do something, 'cause shit. I've been waiting for a long time for them to go to.
here's the thing. In all honesty, I don't think the Vikings have the team to do that. And I always also, this may be a smidge bias, but I still don't think the Vikings are going to win the division. I think it's going to be super close. I just don't think they're going to win it because Kirk Cousins towards the end of the year just flops for some reason.
Yeah.
Don't know why. He just. And the thing is, the Packers for some reason couldn't get any pressure on him, and they left the flats so wide open. And they should have had Alexander shadowing him the whole game, and they didn't for some reason. But anyways, thanks for rubbing that in my face. That's cool. Appreciate that. But it's all good fun. So. All right. So until next time, I want everyone to find whatever roots that may be in your life. If that's digitally, video games, whatever. And I want you to dig it up. Find those roots and dig it. So until next time.